Have you ever just looked up at the night sky, or maybe walked through a crowded city street and felt completely, literally, overwhelmingly alone in this massive world? Like, it's a really profound feeling, right? Being this tiny, isolated speck disconnected from this giant universe spinning all around you. Well, let me tell you, you are definitely not the first person to feel this way. Feeling small in an indifferent cosmos is basically a universal human experience. But what if that feeling of total isolation is actually just an illusion? An illusion caused by us missing what's happening right in front of our very eyes.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to explore a genuinely fascinating perspective from a text known as the 14th Lamma. Specifically, we'll be breaking down a super interesting concept from its second section called the Third Secret. Now, this source material tackles that heavy human experience of isolation head-on by looking at the actual physical order of the universe itself. We're going to unpack what it calls the mercy that gladdens the universe. And, as you'll see, recognizing this specific cosmic order might just be the absolute ultimate key to overcoming our deepest feelings of loneliness.
Section 1. Loneliness in a Massive World. So we're going to start exactly where you might be sitting right this very second, feeling like a totally solitary individual. And then we're going to systematically zoom out to see the bigger picture. When we feel alone, we usually kind of just focus inward, right? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that if we shift our perspective, we realize we are actually receiving hundreds of forms of unseen help every single day. Look at the sheer volume of support around you. The sun, which is literally millions of miles away, is perfectly positioned to keep you warm. The air you're breathing is perfectly balanced for your lungs. Water cycles across the entire planet just to reach your body. The soil is working tirelessly to grow your food. And hey, zoom in even closer. Think about the profound, instinctual compassion of a mother protecting her young, or the millions of cells in your own body working right now, without you even having to think about it, just to keep you alive. You feel alone, but actually, you're at the very center of a massive support network.
Section 2. The Hidden Helpers We Don't Notice.
Let's really build on this idea. We're moving from your isolated individual experience out to the vast systems of the universe that are actively working to sustain you. I want you to mindfully observe this step-by-step cosmic journey for a second. Think about something incredibly mundane, like a single piece of bread or a sip of water. How did it actually get to you? Step 1, clouds had to gather water from thousands of miles across the earth. Step 2, atmospheric conditions had to perfectly align so that rain falls exactly where it's needed on the soil. Step 3, the soil, interacting with the sun and the rain, has to grow the wheat. And step 4, after harvesting and baking, that one piece of bread finally reaches your hand. Dozens of massive, global systems had to seamlessly cooperate just to give you a single bite of food. It's a literal chain of events perfectly timed for your survival. Crazy, right?
And this brilliantly illustrates a core metaphor from the 14th Lamma. Think about a tree. You know, the roots dig deep, the trunk stands strong, the branches spread super wide, and the leaves soak up the sun. That entire vast structure is completely focused on producing just one small thing, the fruit. Well, the source text argues that the universe operates in the exact same way. The massive elements of the cosmos, the sun, the global water cycle, the atmosphere, they are the tree. And human life, that's the fruit. The universe is literally directing its immense structure just to serve and sustain your life.
Section 3. The Compassion of the Universe. The Secret of Mercy. So, having established this grand order, we can seamlessly transition into the philosophical side of why this actually happens. The source text calls this the third secret. Basically, this secret reads the entire universal order we just talked about through the lens of a single word, rahmet, which translates to mercy. But we kind of need to redefine this word here. Mercy, in this context, is not just some comforting inner emotion or a fleeting feeling of pity. No, it is an active, observable reality. It's defined as a system where needs are known, where those needs are met precisely on time, and where active help is provided to living beings. The precise timing of the rain, the perfect distance of the sun, these are definitely not random accidents. According to the text, they are the visible, concrete manifestations of universal mercy.
Which brings us to a seemingly simple, yet absolutely powerful logical question. It really deconstructs the whole idea of an indifferent universe. Look at those systems sustaining you. Do plants have brains to understand that you're hungry? Do animals possess conscious empathy to ensure your survival? Does that giant burning ball of gas we call the sun actually know who you are and purposefully send you warmth? Does a water cloud consciously decide to rush to your aid when you're thirsty?
Well, the logical answer is, obviously, no. Unconscious plants, drifting clouds, and the sun cannot possibly know you,
and they certainly can't feel pity for your needs. So the crucial point is this. Since these blind, totally unconscious elements are flawlessly providing for your needs in this highly coordinated way, they absolutely must be directed by something else. The source concludes that there has to be a deliberate, conscious will behind them, a will that knows human beings, understands what we need, and operates this massive universe with profound mercy. You are quite literally being catered to by a conscious system.
Section 4. Time for respect and gratitude. Now that we've outlined this incredibly interconnected, merciful universe, what can you actually do today with this new perspective? First, let's do a quick reality check. The source material is very realistic about this. Recognizing this universal mercy doesn't mean that every single human whim or fleeting desire is just magically granted. You aren't going to get $1 million just because you really want it. Instead, the focus here is on the fundamental baseline, the basic, absolute, essential needs of life. Air, water, food, warmth. These are met with a magnificent, mathematically precise order. Your everyday survival is continuously, almost miraculously, engineered.
When you really internalize that the universe is basically bending over backward to sustain you through a conscious will, the source outlines 2 actionable takeaways for us. Number 1 is respect, or hormet. This means not just blindly and wastefully consuming the resources around you. It's about recognizing their true value and using them mindfully. And number 2 is gratitude, or shakur. This goes way beyond just muttering thanks. It's an active cognitive process. It's about always remembering the true source of these gifts. Like when you drink a glass of water, you don't just see the glass. You see the clouds, the rain, and the merciful will that orchestrated the whole shebang.
Section 5. You are never alone.
Okay, let's zoom back in from the giant macro universe and the cosmic water cycle right back down to the micro level of you, the individual, and bring this philosophical journey to a close. We started this explainer talking about that deep, heavy human feeling of being isolated in a massive cold world. But as the text powerfully argues, realizing this cosmic mercy completely shatters the illusion of isolation. Think about it. If the sun warms you by design, if the clouds water you by design, if a supreme will orchestrates the universe to meet your basic needs every single day, well, then it is logically impossible for you to be alone. You are known, you are provided for, you are constantly and actively supported by the very fabric of reality itself.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. As you step away from this explainer and go about the rest of your day, just look around you. The air filling your lungs, the sunlight hitting your skin, the food sitting on your table, it is all part of a grand system working specifically for your survival. What blessing that has been silently supporting you your entire life will you truly look at and see for the very first time today? Take a moment, look closely, and realize just how incredibly connected you really are.